Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my journey to Platinum. Now in this game we're playing Kai'Sa Lulu against a Caitlyn Lux. So just thinking about the matchup in general, they have a lot more range than we do, so we need to be careful of that poke. But with the Lulu shield and everything like that, we should be able to just sort of sustain through it, or not take too much damage from it as long as she's on point with those shields. Now it does look like Gragas is looking for an invade, but they did run into the Aatrox, so I think he might end up just stopping that there and not actually continuing to go for it. Looking at the rest of the teams, we do have pretty standard team comp on our side, and they have a pretty standard comp on their side as well, so nothing too far out of the ordinary. Looking at the rune choices and some of the spell choices and stuff like that, nothing too bad, but it seems that the Twisted Fate is potentially just inting. I'm not really sure, and it looks like the Gragas has actually come down here, so we will need to leash. But yeah, the Twisted Fate just sort of ran into the tower and died, so I mean, if he's going to give us a free kill or a free win, then we're not going to complain about it. But we'll just have to see what happens in that lane there, because a fed Yasuo will be very beneficial for us, for sure. Especially when they have a Twisted Fate, a Caitlyn and a Lux who all suffer from his wind wall. But it doesn't look like that he's really inting too much at the moment. He's just sort of standing in the lane against the Yasuo. And we did also find out that the Lux started with her binding, so she will get an auto off on me there. But as long as we just make sure that we don't take too much poke, then we should be fine. Lulu will get some poke back onto the Caitlyn in that situation. Now we can't really walk too far up at the moment because they do just completely outrange us, so we do have to kind of concede the wave a little bit here, just for fear of the Lux doing a lot to us. I'm not too worried about the Caitlyn in this specific situation. I'm more worried about her getting us once the Lux has CC'd us. So, just like this. And yeah, unfortunately that did just happen, so just a little unfortunate there. And I don't know really why Lulu is question mark pinging me. It's not like I ran into it on purpose. It's not even like I ran into it at all, to be honest. But, oh, no good thing Lulu did shield me there. We'll use our Q just to get those minions there. And unfortunately we were still in range to get hit by that auto from Caitlyn. So they are getting some decent poke off on us, but as long as we don't get hit too much by it, then we should be okay. Then we are going to have to concede that minion. And I'm going to try and W this canyon. Get it. And I did get the cannon, so that's good. Lulu is taking a lot of damage from the Lux here, and it looks like the Lux actually does have Dark Harvest as well as Barrier, which I hadn't noticed earlier. So the Barrier is potentially a little bit strange. But, yeah, not the weirdest thing in the world, I suppose. Looks like our Yasuo did get ganked by the Shaco, but it hasn't turned into anything for him, so that's good. Now, unfortunately, we are just giving up a lot of control in this lane because of the immense amount of poke. And my E unfortunately didn't get me out of the range of that either. And the Lulu is just kind of spam shielding me, which isn't very helpful, to be honest. She should be sort of waiting for them to actually throw abilities and then shielding me, because that just gives them a giant opening to actually damage me after she wastes the shield. But yeah, just small things that will end up adding up over time, I would say. We'll get a lot of damage off on her there, and now we'll just potion up as well. Caitlyn won't be able to get in range for that headshot on the Lulu, so it's all good. We'll let the potion sustain me up while I just farm what I can. Let Lulu know that my W's not up yet, so don't try and do anything too crazy. The Gragas is also coming down, so... And I will just W for this cannon minion. Even though the Gragas is coming down, it also looks like the Lulu's wanting to leave. And I can't really walk up for the CS too much, I don't think. So we will just stay back and get some autos off where I can, just to try and sustain a little bit. But yep, they are pushing very hard into us, and the Gragas is around, so we should be okay. They did get out of range. Oh. Right. So I wasn't expecting the Gragas to go for a flash play there. Okay. I was not expecting the flash from Gragas there. And I'm just going to mute this Lulu because she's obviously very tilted. But that's okay. We will just let her be tilted. Just let her be tilted. And let's see, the Gragas is trying to wrap around by the looks of it, but I don't think anything's going to come of it. Oh, but it might. Again, though, like, I can't really walk up to them. There's no real way for me to get close that easily. So we're just going to have to sit back and let them push into us again. But that's okay. It's kind of what this lane is supposed to do anyway. Once we sort of scale a bit into the later game and just sort of get through this lane phase a little bit unscathed, or like decently unscathed, then we should be okay. Don't really know what Lulu is attempting to do here. Okay, we'll just take that kill. I might die for it. Yep, we'll die for that. But that's okay. So no doubt Lulu's probably going to be mad at me for that as well, but in reality it was like the Tifa did have ult and stuff like that, so it's like what were we really going to do there? But oh well, we did manage to get a kill out of it. But yeah, now Tifa is going to continue pushing our tower down and get some solo gold there. Yasuo hopefully will be able to respond and get some solo tower gold from the mid lane. But Shaco did also leave, so Shaco might be able to just prevent him from doing that. But hopefully they'll just be able to sort of trade a plate, which it looks like they will be able to. Shaco is there, but yeah, Yasuo does get the plate gold, so that's good. It also looks like Lux is sort of just up there, so we are just going to run at the Caitlyn here. Now, can Lulu kill her? Honestly, the Lulu should have walked up earlier, but that's okay. Now we will try and push out this wave. Probably a little bit greedy. But hey, we'll do what we can. Alright, so the only reason I ran up to her there was because the Lux had shown mid. So I knew that Lux wouldn't be around to help, and that my Lulu would. She didn't end up being of too much help in any way, but I mean, it was better than nothing. She did end up getting the kill in the end, so that's all good. Looks like there's a gank going on in the mid lane. But nothing's going to really come of that, unfortunately. I'm not sure if the Gragas... Yeah, no, the Gragas didn't have ult. So he couldn't get a free knock-up for the Yasuo there. Looks like Lux is probably warding that bush, but I'll just ping question marks up the river in case he's going to do something else. And yeah, just heading back to lane now. So the Caitlyn is behind me, technically. But she obviously still has more pressure and more push because of the Lux as well, and just naturally the way Caitlyn is. So we'll just try and make sure we dodge out on as much of this poke as possible, and hopefully the Gragas will come down for a gank or something soon. But it looks like the Gragas isn't going to be able to get here in time. I really don't know what this Lulu is doing, but I think she's just a little bit tilted at this moment. There was no way the Gragas was there in time, and there was no way I was just going to run up in there either. I don't think we can really 2v2 them at the moment. But that's okay. We can't really control what she does. Looking at the rest of our team, everyone's doing fairly decently, so we just have to make sure that we don't feed, and we should be okay. Now, I don't know where the Caitlyn is. I do want to go for this Lux, but we can't really do that, unfortunately. We'll just get the CS where we can. Use a potion to tick us back up. Probably can't get this ward either. Yeah, not quite. Lulu will be able to get it though, or not. She just doesn't want to try getting it, I guess. Yeah, and it looks like no one really wanted to help me out either. The Gragas went on to the Tifa and the Lulu just kind of left. Unlucky. Again, I don't really think there was too much I could do there. because everyone just sort of focused different people, and none of them were focusing the person that I was on. You could make the argument that I should have gone in earlier with the Lulu, but I thought she was just sort of trolling at the time. I didn't think she was actually trying to do anything helpful there, because she's been doing nothing but trying to troll me and being tilted this entire lane phase, so yeah. But hey, we will do what we can here. Now the Lux does have red buff. I don't think we'll be able to catch up to her, because it looks like she's just leaving and she'll slow us with that, so. And again, it looks like the Lulu's just tilted here because she's trying to take the CS, but that's okay. That is okay. Caitlyn did also unfortunately manage to get some kills out of that last fight. So all we can do here is try and push in and get leads through CS. Now the Caitlyn is very good at defending towers though, obviously. Oh, okay. So it looks like there's the Shaco here as well. Will Lulu block that for me? No, she won't. And the Twisted Fate is down here again as well. So they're putting a lot of pressure on the bot lane, which hopefully means that we should be able to get pressure in other lanes, but it doesn't look like we're actually able to do that too much at the moment. But yeah, we did get a gank going off in the top lane, but it doesn't look like that's going to actually get anything from it. And now we will just run back down bot lane. So the Lux and the Caitlyn will just take our tower, which, as I said, was expected, because that is just sort of what their duo does. The amount of range and just sort of pressure they can put on us because of the amount of damage they can put out from that distance is a lot more than we can do. So we just sort of have to sit here and accept it for now. And now I'm going to just try and freeze it here. Hopefully the Lulu will let me and she won't just tilt push it or something. It does look like she's leaving, but she's not, so I'll just give her a ping to let her know what I'm trying to do. Whether she accepts that or understands that or not is a different story, but yeah, unfortunately we couldn't freeze it because of that Q there. Even if she hadn't Q'd it, I don't think we would have been able to freeze it properly, but we would have been able to freeze it a lot better than we did. But that's okay. As I said before, can't control what other people do. So it does look like their bot lane has moved up to mid lane, which is generally what you should do once you've sort of taken the tower in bot lane. Go around and try and push your lead around the map. And yeah, that's just exactly what they're doing right now. So we will try and push this over here, but we do have to be careful of Twisted Fate. He might be coming down here or looking to come down here. Okay, he's not. So we will just... Oh. Okay. We will just be able to get the Shaco there though. And we will just kill that for the extra gold, even though it will do damage to us. And now we do need to leave because Twisted Fate did just back, and he could look for an ult down here. He does also have plated steel caps, which is very interesting. We don't have that much AD on our team. We do have the Yasuo, which is his lane opponent, so I'm assuming that's why he sort of really went for that. But even so, that's kind of an interesting decision. Now we will also get just another... Oh no, we actually can't. We don't have space for it, that's my bad. I was looking at getting another dagger, just ready for the Renowned Hurricane that I'll be building into next. But yeah, we don't have the space for it at the moment. So I also don't have ult here to follow Lulu, if she does manage to get any CC on them or anything. But they will just be able to get that tower anyway, so it's not going to particularly matter. Oh, okay. And they are just going to go in here. Okay, yep, I couldn't really follow up on that, but it looks like the Yasuo is fed enough at this point that it doesn't really matter, so that's good. As I said before, they put a lot of pressure on us down... What? I don't know why I'm tanking that, but that's okay. Oh, and again, I'm still tanking it. We'll just heal the Yasuo as well. And we will just get rid of these as well. Oh, can we get the Shaco? We can't get the Shaco. That is okay. Now, we weren't able to manage to get the Shaco, but we did get the Aatrox. Now there's no dragon up for us to get or anything like that, so I will just stand in the mid lane here and get some farm. Oh. And I will just try and run away now. Good thing I will be able to get away from that. And I do have my ult back up. Cool, we'll just get that kill as well. Now that did cost me my ult, but that's honestly worth it. Cool, we'll just start leveling up our E as well here. It's a good thing that the Gragas really went all in for that. We'll just walk over here. Cool, and he did use his stun card on the Herald. So that's one less thing that we have to worry about dealing with. Okay, can we kill him? No, we can't. It was a little bit greedy from me, but I didn't expect the Shaco to be there. Really good flash out of the Lux ult, so that's good, that's good. Now we will pick up the pickaxe as well and get another dagger here. So we will get our Q upgrade because of the extra AD, which is why I went for the pickaxe first. And we will also swap out our stealth ward for a far side alteration. Just because we're out of the lane phase now, so we do need to be a bit careful of the bushes around and stuff as well. It's beneficial to have that warding from an extra distance. So level up our Q here, and then head back towards the bot lane, because the dragon is coming up in 47 seconds. So our team needs to be ready for that. We'll just ping the Gragas and ping the dragon, just to let him know that that's what we sort of need to be focused on at the moment. It does look like they're sort of trying to do something in mid lane, maybe. So we'll start making my way up there. We've got some decent vision around the bot side, so we can see the T-Fate there, for example, and stuff like that. Okay, so as long as we have a decent setup around here, then we shouldn't be dealing with too much trouble. It does look like their blue buff is still up, but I'm not sure if we can really try and take that or anything before the dragon. Lulu is going to get a little bit of poke onto the Lux. But our main goal here is just to get the dragon, which Gragas is here and their jungler isn't, so we will be able to secure this. Cool. We will be able to get the Lux as well. Her barrier nearly put a stop to it, but it didn't quite, so that's okay. And that's where the far side alteration also comes in handy with Kai'Sa, is if they get out of vision while you've got your ult ready to go, then you can sort of get the vision back so that you're able to ult into them. We didn't unfortunately manage to get that minion, but that's okay. We will ping both the barrier and the flash for the Lux as well, just to let our team know that we did manage to get those off of her. And then just start working on this tower some more. We didn't manage to get much damage on it in the lane phase because of the ranged disadvantage and just the amount of pressure, as I was saying earlier. But we should be able to get it now, I would say. Just because there's no one else really around to stop us. The Twisted Fate is ulting in towards our Lulu, and they'll probably get her, honestly. There's not really much we can do about that. Let my team know that I don't have ult, so I can't do too much to help out or get into the enemy team quickly. But it's okay. And unfortunately the amount of sustain from that Aatrox is just insane right now with his Gore Drinker. But our Nasus is happily pushing away in the top lane, so at least we're getting something out of it while this is happening. Now we will also sell our refillable potion for an extra dagger, because that will give us our E upgrade, which will mean that we're able to go invisible with our E. We can't quite afford the Runans, unfortunately. Having a Runans in that last fight would have been really, really good. But hey, we just didn't have it at the time. And after I get Runans, I will go for some healing reduction, just to get that Gore Drinker under control a wee bit. But yeah, as I said before, Nasus is happily pushing up in the top lane, so it's not like we get nothing out of that. Okay, and we will get these 2 CS as well. We'll also see if the red buff is up. Probably unlikely. The Twisted Fate doesn't have it, so it could be up. We will see. And it is. Okay, so we will just take this for us. And then we'll make our way up towards our team. Okay, nothing's really happening at the moment, but something is definitely going to be happening soon. So we'll try and push this wave out first, though. Cool. Yasuo was able to sort of handle that for now. Cool. And as long as we can get our W on someone, maybe? Okay, we can't quite do it, but that's okay. We can get the Aatrox, so that's good. And we will just Eon out of there so that we aren't right in the way of them. And we will just go all in here. Okay. Someone block that! Wait, what? Lulu wasn't in front of that? Okay, that's pretty sad. But I'll just give them an emote to be friendly. I really thought the Lulu was in the way of that, so I didn't think that would hit me. But oh well, not a big deal. We still got to push into their base. I did tank a couple of tower shots, which is a little bit unfortunate. That's okay. So we will start working towards our Executioner's Calling, so that we can cut the healing on the Aatrox mainly. Caitlyn doesn't really have too much healing. She does have it in her runes, but she doesn't really have it in her items or anything like that, so nothing to be too concerned about there. We'll ping the dragon, let them know it's coming up in just under a minute. So Gragas just based as well, so he'll be able to get there in time. And the Aatrox is pushing in our mid wave, or in their mid wave, should I say. But we should be able to push that out, no issues. So we'll just let Nasus try and do that for now. And while I work on getting these Wraiths, or these Raptors, should I say. Now, normally I would like to give that farm to the Nasus, but because we need to get dragon control, it's probably better that I just help him push it out. So they do have vision here, and they do have vision over here as well. So that, again, is something we need to be just a little bit aware of. We are managing to get the push on the mid-wave. And they are trying to contest, which they will be able to. We will get our W onto the Lux. That means we also don't have it for another little while. And they have their Aatrox coming in. So we need to be a little bit careful here. And we will just flash over that wall. Because the T-Fate did hold on to his ult for a long time, so I wasn't really 100% sure where he was going. We'll just get some sustain off of these Krugs. And we'll walk over here. What? I didn't get her? Okay, that's a little bit unfortunate. That's okay. Can I live here? No, I can't quite live. So I actually thought that the Caitlyn would die quicker than that, and that I'd be able to focus on other people, but unfortunately she didn't. But that's okay. They had a lot of focus on me there, so my team is able to sort of just keep on pushing through, because they are pretty low on health bars now. The Twist of Fate also had Zhonya's, unfortunately, there. But we did manage to get him eventually, but it did cost us Yasuo as well. So we will pick up the Executioners and a... Actually, I'm not sure if I want to go straight into the Mortal Reminder right now. Looking at their defenses, they do have a lot of armor, so it might be more beneficial to go into a little bit of AP, because that's something that Kai'Sa can do. So I will look to go into a Nash's Tooth, which also builds from a dagger, so we will just buy a dagger for now. But yeah, Nash's Tooth will be our next item probably, just to mix our damage up a little bit, because their Shaco is going a lot of armor, they have a lot of armor, well, they have their boots on the Aatrox and on the Twisted Fate, plus the Twisted Fate also has the Zhonya's. So, yeah, we definitely are going to need some either mixed damage or some armor penetration. I do have true damage from my Kraken Slayer, but I don't think that by itself will be too helpful. So we'll just take those minions and then get out of the way of Twisted Fate. Looks like Yasuo's probably going to go for those Raptors, so I won't try and take those from him. I will ward up there, yeah, good thing I did. And just ping for help here, but it doesn't look like anyone's actually going to help me. Okay, she can't... Oh, the Shaco's alive, unfortunately. Oh! I didn't quite get the kill on the Shaco. But that's okay. Unfortunately, I got his claw clone, but I didn't actually manage to get him. So we will sell our Doran's Blade here for a Blasting Wand. Just to get some more AP in there. Because I think if I had some AP there, then I would have been fine. Because of the extra mixed damage with the Shaco's armor, because he's also got another 2 cloth armor now. So yeah, definitely not having the AP damage there was a wee bit unfortunate for me. But that's okay. As I said, the rest of my team is doing well as well, so I don't have to be the one to straight up carry too hard. Now the Twisted Fate did use his ult, so that's something I don't have to be too worried about. And it looks like Yasuo was probably just going to kill him anyway. And he did. Lulu was there also to help as well. So I'll head over to grab the red buff. Dragon and Baron both aren't up for a little bit. Dragon will be up first, but it's still not up for a little while yet. And it looks like they're just going to manage to kill the Aatrox unless he can sustain through it. But nah, he couldn't, so they are just going to get him. So I'll get this red buff and then I'll head up towards where the Caitlyn and the Shaco are. I don't have my ult yet, but that's okay. I will walk over here towards the Lulu. And let's see, will I manage to get her? No, not quite. The Shaco didn't die, so he was able to sort of jump on top of me, but Nasus again is just pushing for free in the top lane. This thing, even if we die in these fights, as long as Nasus is sort of getting something in the split push, then we don't really have that much that we need to really worry about, because they have to send a lot of people to deal with us anyway. So yeah, we're still getting a lot out of it, even for our deaths. Looking at when the dragons and stuff are coming up, the dragon is coming up in just over a minute. Which, again, is not going to be soul point for either team, but it's still beneficial to have for the ult cooldown. And then, yeah, we are about 700 gold off of our Nash's Tooth, so not too far off of it, but not super close either. We'll just ping that and let my team know that we are sort of heading towards it. And the good thing with this Nash's Tooth as well, with the amount of AP it gives and everything, it instantly upgrades Kai'Sa's Q. So that's great that we only need to get one item to actually get the full W upgrade for Kai'Sa. Now the Twisted Fate is going to be coming around here. I don't have flash, unfortunately. I thought I had flash up, but it was a little bit premature. I also thought that me dashing in there with my Q would also be enough, but unfortunately not. Didn't quite get enough damage on them. Now, yeah, the Nasus is just going to come in and clean up though, so not too big of a deal, as I said. Nasus is also at the point now where they just can't deal with him anymore. So as long as he just walks at them, then we just basically win the fight anyway. Plus with the Lulu, they're shielding him and stuff as well. It's just, there's absolutely no way that they get through him. And yeah, he's just chasing the Shaco at this point, which, you know, he's probably not going to get him. But that's okay. So I will head up towards the mid-wave, and also we just have super minions pushing into their base now as well. They will get stopped by the enemy minions, but again, it's just something they have to sort of deal with, because if they leave it for too long without dealing with it, then it's just going to be, they're going to destroy their base without us really needing to do anything. So we've created pressure around other parts of the map, or not us specifically as in me playing Kai'Sa, but our team has managed to create pressure around other points of the map where it's like even if they win isolated fights, it just doesn't really matter for them in the long run. So that's just what we need to keep on doing. Let's just keep maintaining that pressure. And then, yeah, hope to pull multiple members down to deal with us, while the rest of our team get other stuff. Ideally, we obviously don't want to, like, give them free kills as well. But even if we do die, it's like, it doesn't really matter at this point too much. The blue buff is up soon, so I will just stick around to get that. And we will get it. And now we'll head up towards the mid lane. Does Nasus have ult? He does. Good. We will also just W in here. Oh, but the Twisted Fate is, yeah. So they did all just swap onto focusing me at the end there, instead of carrying on with the Nasus, which was the correct decision for them, obviously, because they did manage to just deal with me. But again, that also took all of the pressure off of Nasus, which then meant that he could just walk at them. Plus the rest of my team were also around. Still probably not the best decision from me, obviously, because, as I said, don't want to just give them free kills. But at this point, I can just afford to do that kind of stuff. And their Caitlyn and Shaco aren't going to be able to deal with all 4 members of my team pushing down this tower. So yeah, that's basically game right now. I'm looking at what we would go into for our next item. Possibly a Zhonya's Hourglass. Just so that if we do dash in like we have been doing, then we can also just sort of, you know, sit in the middle of them with these Zhonya's active and not instantly die for it. Can stall a bit of time for our E, or we can stall a bit of time for our team to get there, or something like that. But yeah, overall not a great game from me, but you know, I've been creating pressure and distracting the enemy team in some areas as well, so it hasn't been my worst game, but it for sure hasn't been my best. Baron is coming up in just under 30 seconds, as Greg has pointed out, so that's something we can get just to 100% secure the win. But, you know, not really something we need to do right now. So we will get the red buff and then head up towards the Baron. Again, I don't really know why my team was super pinging me there. The Baron wasn't up, so it's not like we could rush it down there or anything. So I don't really know why they were super upset at me at that point, but that's okay. Now the Shaco is coming over, and so is the Aatrox. But again, they're not going to be able to get here in time, so they can't really deal with us too much. We will W up here, see if we can hit him, which we can. And we don't want to kill this because it is the clone, so we will just walk away from that. And we will go for our W down here. It's probably the clone, which it is, but at least we can get rid of it. So yeah, that was, again, potentially a questionable engage, but you know, it worked out. And we will just go for the Shaco here as well. But he's just super tanky at this point, so not really much we can do here either. We are going to get the Twisted Fate there. And the Caitlyn is going to kill us there, but we weren't going to be able to escape from that anyway. Not with the situation we'd put ourselves in. So I don't think we'll be able to push for the win here, because yeah, the Lulu and the Nasus probably aren't going to be enough to just get enough minions in there against the Caitlyn and the Shaco. But that's okay. We still have the Baron buff on the Lulu, so not too bad. And we are going into the Zhonya's Hourglass next, so we will be able to sort of have a bit more armor and just sort of have the Zhonya's active as well for if we get into some tricky situations. The teammate of the Cloud Drake is coming up in just under a minute. But yeah, so a lot of deaths on my part this game, obviously because I've just been sort of playing a little bit reckless. Or very reckless in this case. But, as I said, I can afford to do it because of how far away, or how far ahead the team is and how far ahead Nasus is. But it's, yeah, definitely not a good habit to get into, probably. In a couple of situations as well, I had also overestimated my damage a little bit. So, there were a couple of situations where I thought I would be able to secure the kill, and I ended up not actually being able to. So we will just dash in over this part. Okay, Twisted Fate did just focus sort of the wrong guy. And yeah, unfortunately here I'm sort of stuck in a situation where the Shaco clone was there and I couldn't really auto that. But I also have the Runans, so if I auto anything I'm probably going to hit the Shaco clone with it as well. Potentially... No, I can't actually afford to go for a QSS at this point because of the need for executioners. There is also the argument that perhaps I could sell this for a QSS and go down that route instead. So I can go back to the marksman items and perhaps go towards this instead now. Because what is sort of getting me caught out a lot is the CC. Obviously I'm jumping in at not so great times, but the CC is the thing that's sort of stopping me from actually doing too much in those situations afterwards. So I think it will be more beneficial for me to actually have a QSS than to have the Zhonyas, looking at it now. And yeah, we do have to be a little bit careful now because they are sort of winning fights a bit more now. The Caitlyn is ahead, or has caught up a lot. She's definitely ahead of me. She's 40 farm ahead, and she's got 4 more kills as well. So yeah, we do need to be a little bit wary of that. Just not to let them come back into the game too much. Ow, and her autos do a lot of damage to me. So we can't quite afford our Mercurial Scimitar yet, unfortunately. Now my team is pushing up into their jungle, which I'm not really 100% sure why. But that's okay. We'll take these raptors. Let my team know that I can actually afford the Mercurial Scimitar. But it looks like Yasuo is just going onto the Caitlyn as well right now. So we'll try and go for this Aatrox though and help the Yasuo out. Yeah, unfortunately we can't really do anything there. Hopefully the Nasus will be able to get the Caitlyn, but it doesn't look like he can. Again, I think the target selection here is very bad from our team. We definitely need to be focusing the same targets. I think I played that fight as well as I could have. I did dodge a lot of things, and I did get out of the Twisted Fate gold card. But I'm also just not really doing a lot of damage, I think, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, I don't really see any items in my build that I can sort of sell for something else. Having a Infinite Edge would be very helpful at this point as well. Even though the Shaco does have a Randuin's. But again, it's not really something I can afford to sell any of the other items in my build for. Now, I'm not sure if they'll be able to... They probably can end here, actually. Unless Gragas can ult them away. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Nah. Unfortunately, we do lose that game. We did throw it a bit. They're also on me a lot there. I kind of ulted in too many times and got myself killed too many times. Which should give them some... They gave them enough gold to sort of come back, I guess. But the target selection towards the end wasn't great, obviously, as well. So we do lose LP for that. If we just sort of let our team carry a wee bit more instead of trying to do too much ourselves, then I think it would have been fine. But hey, just a mistake that we've got to work on, because that is something that we sort of do a little bit too much. So yeah, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did like it. And I hope you guys will tune in and enjoy the next one. Catch you later.